again in the crypto world, DeFi IoT. We're going to talk a little bit about MXC today. A little different spin on it, so please don't go away. We're going to talk a little bit about the proximity changes coming up. You had the app change, what that means a little bit. And let's talk a little bit about the POLKADOT that's coming online possibly this year, how that's going to work exactly. So let's get in and talk MXC talk. Before we begin, I need to make a disclaimer. Here at DeFi IoT Latin America, we are not professional financial advisors, or are we paid by any company to promote certain products. We here at DeFi IoT Latin America, we invest our own money. We take our own risks. We learn, we make mistakes, and we share what we learn, our successes and our mistakes with you. So this video is for educational purposes only. If you like what we're doing, please subscribe, hit the bell, give us a thumbs up, and write to us what more you'd like to learn. Let's go in now and see what else we can share with you. Fantastic. We're excited about this project too. And as we mentioned in another video, which we'll put a link down below, and MXC, as we mentioned in another video, bought these 2-3 miners some months back. It's only about 4 or 5 months now. And we got them to get involved like we do here at DeFi IoT. We get in, we put our own investment in, we put our own blood on the line, so to speak. And, I didn't see a good roadmap. Coming to the end of last year in December, end of 21, going into the January, I started seeing some projections that I liked. And I think a lot of people liked it. What are we trading at today? Around 9 cents. We would hit that 12-cent mark. And we were all hovering around that 4 or 5 cents for the longest period of time. So you're starting to see more confidence going in the project, starting to see more talk about the project again, which will only help expand. Now, they're making some changes. They just changed the data app, right? And, if you haven't updated that, you need to update it, because otherwise you're going to be kind of, well, from my understanding, you're going to be left behind. So you want to update that. Another thing you need to do, there are hackers right now. We have a video out on hacking too. Put that down below. Recently what's come out, but MXC, they're hacking. They're actually getting in. If you don't have the double security where you can go in and you actually, you have to put the code in. And one thing you want to don't do, what some do, is you don't want that same security, whether it's Google or it's others. You don't want that on the same phone that you got your data app in, right? Separate those out. So you're going to want to put where you have to verify your double verification, okay? That's very important to do. There are people that are losing a lot of money, thousands of dollars, their wallets being hacked. Unfortunately, as we mentioned before, it's happening right now, and I think there's a reason behind that, but we're not going to go in that today. MXC, is it their problem? No, it's not their problem. They're telling everybody to do this. I don't believe it's their problem. It's our problem. If we're not taking care of our wallets and so forth, and securing them with the double verification security system, then that's our issue. What are some things they're doing? They're updating the app. Why? One reason why apparently is supposed to reduce in those withdrawal fees. Right now, where it sits with MXC, one of the downsides of MXC is it's costing about 2,500 to 3,000 MXCs to withdraw your tokens. Now, you also get penalized on your miner. That's going to drop your miner down to, you'll never get to 100% again unless you restore that fuel to the point it was at to get that 100% back, right? So a strategy we're doing, we're coming up now with 3 miners where the next month we should actually have received already our profit, have enough money in there. I'm leaving like $1,000 in there because when I pull that money out, I'm gonna have to pay like 250 MXC, which is not $1,000, but I want to leave extra on there too. I have to pay that withdrawal fee plus whatever other transactions come along, right? So in order to liquidate that out into fiat currency, we're going to have to cover those charges. What those are going to be, don't know yet. I haven't pulled any money out. There are some other videos out there that have pulled money out. And when your miner returns back to work, you're going to be about that 80 percentile. In time, you can be about 90%. But here's our strategy. I'm going to pull it out. I'm buying 3 more. Well, we're going to buy 3 more as a team here. I should say because I'm on the YouTube channel more than most of the team. But we work as a team here. We're all owners in this, and we all have equal say in what takes place here. Now, we do that by also choosing somebody to lead the company. And that happens to be me right now. I'm the Chief Operations Officer at this moment. Now, we're going to buy 3 more, put them to work. But what I'm going to do every year, because I don't trust the fact of leaving it on there all the time, especially if we're going to be in DHX, we're going to be, not just MXC, but DHX, Bitcoin, and Polkadot. We're staking as it is to be able to get those. So let's talk about how it's going to work. And what we're going to do is just every year, I'm going to take it off. I'm going to take it off and reinvest that money, probably place it more than into investment in the crypto assets we like Polkadot, Cardano, etc. We're going to just do that every year. So we might pick up 1 more every year after these 3, and then the rest of it, put it into actual investments, gold, silver, and some very confident, what I call blue chip, or more blue chip, or your more confident cryptocurrencies. Going forward with inflation, especially if what's coming out now, as we were talking about, the inflation we feel is not being reported correctly in the United States at 6.8%. It's actually more than double that, closer to 15%. A report that came out 5 days ago is how they changed the structure in which they calculate that inflation, and it's very high levels. It hasn't been that way in the United States since the 1970s when we had major crisis. And we're on that brink right now. Some are calculated to come up around the election time. I calculate that if the Republicans win back the House and the Senate like they say they are, they're going to let the economy collapse. That will help them then reset the 2030 agenda, and that's going to cause a huge loss of jobs. So getting involved in these passive income devices is actually a good way to go, because you'll keep getting paid. Now look, let's jump to the screen real quick here. MXC and Polkadot, I'm going to go right through here. The announcement came as no surprise to industry experts. It also clearly demonstrated Polkadot's intentions from the onset, selecting MXC Machine Exchange Coin as the first and largest IoT token ecosystem co-op. MXC, also based in Berlin, is a game-changing IoT token that has been in operation since 2018. MXC plus Polkadot Corporation is seen as a strategic move from Polkadot, but the effect also has thrust MXC into a giant on the global stage. Now, basically is this. How is Polkadot going to go? I'm not going to read you everything. How is this Polkadot going to work? Well, it's going to work basically the same as it does with the Bitcoin and the actual DHX. You basically need to stake. You need to put your staking on there, and for staking it, you get paid back in that coin. It's not that you're mining those coins, not you're mining Polkadot. What we have here is if you look at, let's see, let's go here. I want to kind of show you a little better. The new cross-chain technology will allow seamless flow of machine-to-machine communication, incorporating Polkadot in the MXC protocol. Now, how is this going to work? Well, the Polkadot MPOS. The Polkadot operates on a nominated proof-of-stake model. So this is what we're talking about, right? Or MPOS. The DOT MPOS model relies on 2 elements. Now, this is where we got to understand this. Nominators and validators, okay? Nominators are DOT token holders who decide to nominate a specific validator or multiple validators, should they wish, by staking their DOT tokens on the validator. The validators essentially monitor the Polkadot blockchain, ensuring that the blockchain operates appropriately. However, not all validators are monitoring at the same time. To put it simply, validators draw a random number lottery that determines which validator gets to monitor the specific block. And then it's paid. You're paid out according to what the validator has staked, the amount. So once you get that block, then you get the proportionally to what your stake is. Now, what happened is this: MXC is a validator. And so what they're doing is they're going to create this branch where they can allow us as the people who hold their miners, their hotspots, because again, they're not really miners, we're being paid to provide a service. Then we can get paid then in that, basically that staking, that validator staking percentage. And then we get paid in Polkadot for that. So that's how we can increase. Now we're gonna have to stake MXC to do that. So in brief, that's how that's going to work with Polkadot. So then you're going to have, and what it looks like MXC wants to do is continue doing this stuff with also other types of blockchains, cryptocurrencies. So we'll be able to earn, we just got to keep staking MXC. The concern there is how much MXC do we stake, especially with a lot of hacking going on. We're going to need to see, at least from our end here at DeFi IoT, some little more security on that end. Like I said, the people being hacked right now are ones that are not following proper secure procedures with their wallets, right? So let's go into one other thing here. So we see this as being good. We're going to put some money on the line there. And what the percentage is, what you're making back, the MXC token is obviously paying the best. As you're putting $3,000 in, you're getting about $350 to $400 a month, give or take, right? And per miner. For hotspot. So once you're putting in Bitcoin, you may be making about $30 to $40 extra a month in Bitcoin, which you got to stake in that. When Bitcoin was lower, was obviously easier to do. And well as DHX and coming out with Polkadot, we'll see what that price point is going to be. Now, getting in now, doing that type of staking is not so expensive, but you're going to be putting up MXC. So what we're going to do is when we liquidate out, we'll actually be putting up our MXC then. So we're actually going to let the MXC generate. We'll put back into the pools and staking pools, and that's going to be our strategy. So our outlying risk is not that high in case we get hacked. And so every year we'll basically pull out what the miners produce, so we're covering, and then put it back in for staking a little more, et cetera, and then into more of our solid cryptocurrencies, gold and silver. That's our strategy, our MXC strategy, if you will, not to mention others we have. Let's talk about one other thing here. Okay, we all know about the miner, buying the miner. Apparently they're in stock now. Hope they're still in stock when I want to get like 3 more here in about a month. Look, there's a change going on. Now, with the application going on, you need to update, and that's apparently, like I said, supposed to help apparently reduce. I haven't seen anything on that yet. So if you know anything about that, please write us below. I want to see if actually those fees are going to be reduced, what the charges to be able to withdraw our money. Obviously, the incentive is leaving it there. But I don't want to have too much upside risk, especially with all the regulation coming out and with exposing helium now with the New York Times. All of these little devices are going to start getting exposed, and they're going to try to charge taxes, and probably more taxes on top of what we should have. Now, here at DeFi IoT Latin America, we are going to El Salvador, going to Belize, and if we need to, we're going to go to Nevis and the Cayman Islands, and we're going to structure our LLCs with offshore trusts, and we're going to run our companies offshore legally. Pay our fair share of taxes, but our fair share legally. But we're going to figure out ways that we can do this legally and reduce that absurd taxation that these governments are now starting to put on top of people in the crypto world. We'll let you know what we find. So please, if you want to know more about this, and you've got enough interest in this, that your wealth, you've got enough investment in this, you want to protect it and lower your tax base, then subscribe to us. If you're not already subscribed, hit our bell, give us a thumbs up so we can get in the system, get that algorithm out there, and write us what interests you and what else you know. We're going to be doing the research. I got an attorney sitting in the other room right now doing research on this. She started here this week, and we're going to figure this out, because this could come as soon as July, September, and by the end of this year. And we also hit a huge economic downturn, which will then implement even more surveillance. We got hit yesterday with one of our bank accounts. They want to know every transaction now of everything we're doing. Even the $20 deposit that we put in there for some reason to make something come out right. we have to actually give an accounting of all that now. So stay with us so we can keep you abreast on that. Let's get back to this now. Here's some good news too. M2 Pro Miner proximity. Basically, it's this. Before you'd have to have one miner for every like 50 meters or after 50 yards, give or take, right? And that was the strategy. If not, you went down by 7%. Some people didn't care. They just put the two together, put them in their homes. They wanted to reduce the whole farming idea or the spoofing idea and actually develop a network. Not so that people just made money off it. And they did tell you something too. If you're going to invest $3,000, you can invest $3,000 in helium or other projects and make more money a month than you would in this project. This project has different advantages to it, yes. But if you're going to, I mean, if you look at your ROII, it actually can be much better on that $3,000 in other projects than it does in MXC. MXC to me is just an area I like, different network, gives us options. I like putting all of our eggs in one basket. I've learned my lesson as a CEO in the past. Now, let's go into this. What are they going to do for us now? Now, in an area of 2 kilometers or 1.25 miles in that vicinity, right? So I guess that's going to be kind of a squared off area. So it's going to be a hexagon area, kind of like you see with helium. You'll be able to have up to 10 M2 Pro miners. 10, count them, 10. So they're going to change that proximity rule to allow you to have more miners in that area. Okay, so it won't really matter if you have 2 in your house or whatever. So it's not going to reduce you down. Now, the 11th one comes on, it reduced like 20%. The 12th one comes on, 40%. 13th one comes on, 6%, and so on. So it's 0%. Here is something that's going to happen, though. Let's say you have all 10 miners, and you do a strategy like I want to do. Every year you're going to liquidate out and then build up again. You have all 10 miners. You own that square or that hexagon. And you pull your money out, and the 11th miner's there. All of a sudden, the 11th miner now becomes number 1. Whoever has the most in their wallet, the most fuel, in other words, that's the wallet I'm talking about. Whoever leaves the most in there takes that position. So say I take 9 of mine, I take them out and I leave 1. So my 1 would stay in first position. Theirs would go in second position. And if I put the other 9 back in, I'm going to then, on my 11th one, be reduced down to an 80%. Okay, so if I'm already at 80%, I don't know if that will reduce me another 20% or not. I imagine it does. So I'm only going to be making 60% on that hotspot. That's how it's going to work now. It allows us more. They want to grow the network and they want to spread it out. Okay? So that's the new proximity rule that's changed. And, you know, that's all we're going to wrap up today with this. We like this project. I like where they're going. You know, they're going to have their own little metaverse world they're talking about doing. Somehow basing off that, they're really kind of trying to get dynamic in this. And yet I still want to go in with skepticism because I don't know how much is just like, hey, let's do this, or how much actually research is behind this. We didn't see that clarity until just like a month ago. So we're going to go in 3 more, okay, and see what they do. I think we'll at least get our money back out of it, and we're going to buy those 3 with the money we already got back. So it's going to be the same $10,000 or $9,000 we're going to roll back in to the actual investment MXC. If you like what we're doing for you, please, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe to us. We're starting to grow now, and we want to grow even greater. Our goal is to hit 5,000 by the end of April. Help us do that, please. Send us out through your social media and your Facebook and recommend us to your friends. We try to dig and find the truth, and we give a different spin on what the other YouTubers give. Some accuse us of reporting the same things. Well, some things we do because there's only so many projects out there. Eventually, I think we'll have so many projects that we'll all be reporting different things. But we try to give a different spin on it, mostly by our application or what our studies have shown us. And we always give something different because we study also the politics and the economic side of what's coming. Most of YouTubers don't. I think Son of a Tech really is the only one that does. Voscoin does a little bit, but Son of a Tech really kind of stays in on what politics is doing, but he's mostly a GPU guy. So, which he has a lot of good information, and we actually listen to him as well. So we try to give a different spin. What we think is in the white paper, what things coming, and keep you abreast on where we see things, because we're outside of the United States looking in. So it helps us give a different perspective. DeFi, IoT, we'll talk to you tomorrow.